ದೇಶಿನ ದೇಶಿ ನೀನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಬೇಕು. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಂತು
Viewers, you just saw how the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah lost his cool once again. In the sequence that we just played, the Chief Minister publicly reprimanded a civil servant who was sitting next to a seer at an event. The CM is heard asking the Vijayanagar Deputy Commissioner to move away, following which he steps aside. But this is not the only instance when Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has failed to control his anger. Let's sample a few instances. And these are some of them that we are bringing up on screen. In fact, in January 2016, he slapped a police personnel. In January 2019, he has in fact snatched a mic from a woman who was in fact present and in fact talking about how she was not receiving a response. That's of course as far as the police personnel is concerned. This is as far as the woman is concerned. Later, in September 2019, he also slapped party workers. And that's the image of him slapping party workers. In March 2023 as well, slapping a party worker. And in January 2025, the Chief Minister publicly rebuking the DC. Now, the BJP has in fact slammed Siddaramaiah, saying that this reveals that Congress is not Mohabbat Ki Dukaan, but Entitlement Ki Dukaan is what they are saying. They're also going on to say that Karnataka Chief Minister has insulted a bureaucrat. They have also gone on to add that Siddaramaiah is a repeat offender when it comes to such instances and shows the state of affairs in Karnataka, especially as far as governance is concerned when it comes to what's being seated over here. Let's quickly listen to the reactions.
Yeah, Siddaramaiah's style is singular. He's talking always singular. He sent a IAS officer from the dais. This is a character. It's the culture of Congress. It is the culture of Congress.
ये कांग्रेस मोहब्बत की दुकान नहीं, एंटाइटलमेंट और एरोगेंस की दुकान है। जिस प्रकार से सिद्धरामैया जी ने एक वरिष्ठ ब्यूरोक्रेट का अपमान किया है, एक तो लूटपाट मचाते हैं और अक्यूज नंबर 1 सिद्धरामैया जैसे ब्यूरोक्रेट को डांटते हैं, सार्वजनिक रूप से अपमानित करते हैं। ये मोहब्बत की दुकान है राहुल गांधी जी, या ये एंटाइटलमेंट और एरोगेंस की दुकान है? और सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि ये पहली बार नहीं कर रहे। सिद्धरामैया जी एक बार किसी से अपने जूते के फीते बंधवा रहे थे, एक बार उन्होंने पत्रकारों को कैसे धमकाया था सवाल पूछे जाने पर मुड़ा स्कैम पर। इसके अलावा भी हमने देखा है कि कैसे एंटाइटल्ड बिहेवियर करते रहते हैं।
All these kind of things against Chief Minister will not work. Everybody knows what Siddaramaiah is. People of Karnataka knows what kind of a person he is. He is a very clear, transparent personality. He is not cunning or he is not devious like many of the other political leaders. So people have faith in Mr. Siddaramaiah. You see what you see, and he's come from a background which he behaves in a certain way, but he doesn't mean anything bad.
But why CM Siddaramaiah losing his cool? Is the ongoing tussle for the CM's chair in Karnataka bothering him so much? While the party and the Chief Minister himself have asserted that there's no truth to rumours of a change of guard, more claimants to the CM's post have now emerged. Now, Karnataka Excise Minister has asked, why can't a Dalit become a Chief Minister? Another Congress leader, S.R. Patil, says that he will welcome any leader from North Karnataka for the CM's post.
ನೀನು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆತ್ತೀಯ ನೀವು ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಯಾಕಾಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅದು ಆ ಸಶಕ್ತ ಅದನ್ನೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಲ್ ನಾನು ಆರಿಸಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಇರ್ತವೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಂತ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ದಲಿತ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಯಾಕಾಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ನಾನು ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ
ಈಗ ದಲಿತ ಸಿ ಎಂ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತೀರಿ ಸರ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ದಲಿತರು ಸಿಎಂ ಆಗಬೇಕು
ದಲಿತರು ಸಿಎಂ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರು ಆಗಬೇಕು ಇದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ
ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರು ಸಿಎಂ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
wholeheartedly I will welcome.
Okay sir, thank you.
If anybody will become Chief Minister from Uttar Karnataka, I will welcome him.
You're watching the News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's see this across to our guests. Now joining us is GS Prashant, spokesperson of the BJP. We also have with us Priya Chetty Rajgopal, who's of course a prominent citizen's voice there from Bengaluru. We have Professor Bijon Mishra, a prominent citizen voice as well. In fact, he's spoken out on various issues of public concern, including of course VVIP arrogance in the past. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, is joining us, as does Syed Aslam Pasha, who's also a political analyst. Tehseen Poonawala, what really is driving Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to, explode in anger like this repeatedly? And is this at all acceptable, the manner in which he is addressed an IAS officer? Is this conduct that behoves the Chief Minister in the first place?
Madhav, at the onset, wish you, your family members, all the viewers of Times Now and all my fellow panelists a very happy Makar Sankranti and whatever festivals and festivities you're celebrating in your part of the state. May India prosper. I completely concur to one thing, that I think politicians must keep their anger in check. And yes, it is extremely important. I repeat my words. It is extremely important to that the politicians do lead the bureaucrats and make them aware of discipline, but not in this way. I completely concur to that. This is not acceptable. But I'm going to ask you two examples. One of this evening, Times of India broke it. Rao Narbir Singh Ji, a minister in Haryana, today blasted an IPS officer, blasted. I wish that video was there. Blasted, completely blasted an IPS officer because the Faridabad commissioner was not present out there. So he blasted the other IPS officer, the Faridabad Grievance Committee meeting. When the BJP does it, the Honorable Prime Minister of India was received by a collector, and the collector was wearing glasses. The collector was removed from his job. Another district magistrate checked the Honorable Prime Minister's bags when the Prime Minister was campaigning for money or as per the election code of conduct. He was suspended when obviously a protest was held.
Two wrongs definitely don't make a right, Tehseen. Two wrongs don't make a right. And let's not go down that road. You can put the questions to the BJP, there's no problem. But those incidents, while I'm not factually disputing them, you have every right to raise them in a debate. But the point being made is, why is Mr. Siddaramaiah acting in this particular manner? And since you've asked questions of the BJP, I'm going to allow GS Prashant. GS Prashant, Tehseen says that look at the BJP. There are similar instances that arise from the BJP. He's referred to one or two instances of Rao, Narbir Singh, etc., where he says there's been similar behavior of arrogance at officers that has been meted out. Respond, GS Prashant.
Madhav, firstly, the arrogance of Congress is out in the open. We have seen how Congress leader Rahul Gandhi even tore the ordinance prepared by the Prime Minister, which means forget civil servants or public. They don't even respect their own Prime Minister. So it is a Congress culture to mistreat everybody, and they feel so entitled that the first family of Congress can do it, and all of them who swear by the first family are doing this. You had a video out last month where Siddaramaiah was forcing one of the officers to help him put on shoe. That was not needed. He could have taken a seat and then worn the shoes. He did not do it. Instead, he stood ground and he wanted the officer to help him wear the shoe. So this has been happening for a while with Siddaramaiah. And obviously, to answer your question as to why this is happening with Siddaramaiah, he is frustrated. The power tussle is going on. He may lose the chair. And of course, the Muda scam is a boiling scam.
Respond to that, Tehseen. He's frustrated because he's about to lose his chair. There are multiple claimants for the chief ministerial gaddi. At least two of them speaking out even today, Mr. Timapura and another Mr. Patil. Respond, Tehseen.
The Congress is a party of talent, so a lot of people can aspire. The fact is, Siddaramaiah will continue to be chief minister. We will talk after 3 years. He's the only chief minister in recent history to have completed 5 years tenure. I am again saying I have the guts to say the honorable chief minister must keep his temper under control. But the BJP, let me expose his hypocrisy. Let him say the busted DM Amit Kataria, when he was pulled up for wearing glasses to receive the prime minister, was wrong. He won't have the guts. And to come on national TV and to lie, Rahul Gandhi never tore any ordinance. Rahul Gandhi said he didn't support the ordinance. But leave Rahul Gandhi aside. I am saying Siddaramaiah should not lose his cool. Does he have the guts to say Prime Minister was wrong? We'll expose him now. Let's expose the BJP.
Let Rahul Gandhi escape. This is Rahul Gandhi's Mohammed Ki Dukaan. Rahul Gandhi has to answer. It is not about...
He's exposed.
The point, Tehseen, let's assume everything you're saying is right. Does that in any way justify what's happening over here? Because here you have a situation where Mr. Siddaramaiah is increasingly under pressure. There are people within his own party, within his own cabinet. I mean, talking about, a glut of talent is great, but here the talent is of throwing your hat in the ring. I think that is a talent that seems to be most evident there in Karnataka. But let me bring in some of the other panelists as well. Priya Chetty Rajgopal, the political fight apart, at the end of the day, the larger question is this. And it's not happening for the first time. He's been seen slapping, all sorts of individuals. I just read out a long list of that. I mean, can the Chief Minister of a state be going around doing things like this? What's the example that's being set?
Quite bad. I think for a Chief Minister to rebuke somebody who is an IAS officer, and that is not everything. I mean, to do it in public to anyone, I think is inappropriate. And some of the examples that you brought out, particularly the slipper and some of the conversations around rebuking in public, have not been in good taste. But I think all of us have got used to the fact that there's some amount of arrogance that seems to be built in positions of power. And it's quite lethal, and it's quite shameful, and it's quite disgusting. But I mean, I don't know whether I'm really surprised. I'm saddened and disappointed, but I'm never really surprised. I don't know whether you remember, but many years ago, and I'm not saying this only about our current Chief Minister, because it's happened to others as well, of various parties and things like that. But I remember one particular incident, which was about maybe over in his previous term as Chief Minister, where, as usual, the cars were going past and it was holding up traffic, etc. And there was an ambulance that was held up for a long time while they waited for him to go past, and that person died finally, or nearly died. So it was a terrible incident, and it was reported. And the response of the CM, and it could be any CM, it doesn't have to be only him. He said, we have to go from place to place. So if there is inconvenience, the public will have to bear it. So obviously, it's understood that if you're a super VIP, like the Chief Minister or the Governor, and you will have to bear inconvenience, because we are only the poor public. Okay. So whether it is the IAS officer or a person who's picking up his chappals, absolutely, he's not the only one. I think it's
not acceptable
everywhere.
at all. I think you have a very, very important point that you're making there. Syed Aslam Pasha, whether it is his own supporter who is slapping, whether it's a woman who is saying that her voice is not being heard, or if it is the unfortunate person in that particular ambulance that Priya Chetty Rajgopal is talking to, this entitled behavior, where is it coming from? Because here, it appears to be a culture of arrogance and entitlement that is driving this man, the Chief Minister.
Right. Madhav, first of all, happy Sankranti to you, all the panelists, and all your viewers. Madhav, let me tell you, first of all, what Mr. Siddaramaiah did today, right? He asked the gentleman, the DC, to move toward the second line as per the protocol. I completely agree to the point. The way he explained, the way he told the DC is completely not acceptable.
Because Mr. Pasha appears he's playing to the gallery. You can even hear the loud cheers from the audience, because he knows there's a mic in front of him. If he talks like that, this kind of a tone if he takes, he'll probably be very popular amongst the followers of that particular seer who's present over there. So isn't he just playing to the gallery?
Like I said, Siddaramaiah ji, the way he told to the DC is completely not acceptable. There is a way you need to communicate with an IAS officer. It had to be told in a polite way, or he should have told the other officers to follow the protocol. I don't agree to the way in which Mr. Siddaramaiah addressed the DC. That's point number one. Now, the second point is, BJP is talking about, he loses his temper. I don't want to do whataboutery, but I want to tell the BJP spokesperson who's available, day in, day out, there are cases in UP and Madhya Pradesh wherein the council president, one of the ladies, Sadhna Patel, a council president, has slippered the inspector, the sub-inspector of police. In another incident, the union minister's son has thrashed the police. Third incident, in Meerut, the sitting councillor has thrashed the sub-inspector. You don't want to talk about this? Do you want? I mean, if you want to talk about people losing temper, you should talk about your leaders also. Your party leaders also do this, right? Why are you not questioning them? Madhav, I want to ask you one question. Was there any show done by your channel when such things have happened. Today we are
many a time, sir. I don't know if you are aware of Akash Vijay Varghya. Have you heard the name of Akash Vijay Varghya? He happens to be the son of Kailash Vijay Varghya. We've debated that ad nauseum. And the point is, two wrongs don't make a right. This is what I've been telling even Tehseen. I don't know if you heard me at that point of time. Even though there may have been these incidents, and you're welcome to raise these questions and ask them of the BJP. No one's stopping you from doing that. But the point is, when it's a chief minister, one certainly holds a chief minister and somebody who's holding a constitutional position like that up to a certain higher standard. But since you've again posed those questions of the BJP, GS Prashant, you're no different. Several of your party's leaders have been equally arrogant, and it's been widely reported, says Syed Aslam Pasha. Respond to him.
Arrogance by politicians is not acceptable, and as BJP, we will never tolerate that. Saying that just because in BJP, normal Karyakarta will get equal respect as a party president gets. So we don't differentiate between people. In the party also, in the party president has the same food like what the Karyakarta has in the party office. So therefore, we don't distinguish between people in the party, and everybody is treated with respect. And be that as it may, if incidents have taken place where BJP leaders or legislators or councillors have misbehaved, the law will take its course, and the IAS officers are entitled to file complaint. BJP is not threatening them. Here, look at the arrogance of the CM, asking him in singular, who are you? What the hell are you sitting here? Go back. No. He's rebuking He's talking to a criminal. This is not done. And I also probably urge the IAS Officers Association here, they should take it up to say, what is the code of conduct for a CM to follow? It is the CM's team which have to manage, say, who has to be seated where. And the Deputy Commissioner, being an IAS officer, would truly be aware of the protocol, and he would definitely be seated where he was supposed to be.
Okay, Syed Aslam Pasha. Syed Aslam Pasha. Because what is being stated here by the BJP is that if the CM of a state lacks wisdom to give respect, earn respect, what does that say about the governance in the state? That's the question that the BJP is asking. Mr. Pasha.
Madhav, first of all, I want to tell Mr. Prashant, all three of us, I, you and Prashant understand Kannada very well. And that's not, he never said what the hell, who the hell and all that. He said that when the pontiff is sitting in the first row, you're not supposed to sit there. Please go and take some other place to sit.
No, but
that
Mr. Pasha, Mr. Pasha, it's a fact that he's addressing an officer in singular, which is offensive, which you will also agree. The tone, the tenor of the words were absolutely offensive. Leave alone an officer. Anyone, one should not be using those words for.
Madhav, I categorically told that the way in which Mr. Siddaramaiah told that to the IAS officer is not correct. I am also addressing that. But having said that, making it an issue, such a national issue, wherein one statement is made by Mr. Siddaramaiah and it is made a national issue. Now, Mr. Prashant is saying every leader is treated the same. So
no, how does it matter if it's state or national? He has a history and a track record of losing his temper, sir. He's an elected representative. Is it okay for him to slap a person? Is it okay for him to abuse a lady who's asking for help? Is it okay for him to mistreat IAS officers? And IAS officers are really the backbone of our governance structure. It's a very, very valid question. Because, once again, Mr. Aslam Pasha, because there are very serious questions and implications of this. If this is what he's doing, as far as IAS officers are concerned, in a stage in front of a huge number of people, I shudder to think what he'll be doing behind closed doors. And let me bring in Bijon Mishra on that. Bijon Mishra, is this a debate that is not required? Is this too much of hype that is being created around Mr. Siddaramaiah, as Mr. Aslam Pasha seems to suggest?
Madhav, all your viewers, know that Times Now has made it a branded campaign against VVIP culture. It is not only today. Times Now has been seen for years together building such campaign and taking up such causes irrespective of party lines. Any political person or any elected representatives have tried to show arrogance. It has been recorded and shown to the country.
Absolutely.
So today, let us understand that we don't expect a chief minister to behave in such an arrogant manner and also have an attitude where he is exposed that he doesn't even know that the sitting arrangements are predetermined. Who is supposed to sit where? And how did this goof up happen? He should take the other people to task who has approved that sitting arrangement. Instead of doing that, he is publicly reprimanding that innocent officer who was made to sit there, and then he tells him that you go and sit somewhere else. It is discrimination. So a chief minister is discriminating. He can sit beside a Seer, and he doesn't allow his colleague, who is a senior IAS officer, to sit next to him.
Absolutely.
What is
Tehseen.
this?
Yes, Tehseen, please respond to that.
Going around with untouchability? What is that?
I heard Professor Misra. I have a lot of respect for him, but this is hypothesis. Nobody knew how the poor DM sat there, or was he forced to sit there. I don't think that is in the realm of speculations. I and Syed Aslam Pasha are on record saying it is wrong. But what we've exposed on your show is the hypocrisy of the BJP. It's the hypocrisy of the BJP to refuse to take a stand for what they are. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right. They are such hypocrites that the only thing they can come on the show and do is to bring Rahul Gandhi in, which he never did. Beyond that, I am again repeating, and this is an open challenge. I am saying Siddaramaiah is wrong. Said Aslam Pasha also said it. Now say Prime Minister Modi was wrong for punishing DM Amit Katara because he was wearing glasses when he received the Prime Minister. You have the guts to say it. I have the guts to say Siddaramaiah is wrong. You have the guts, or don't give a lecture on national TV.
No, but what is the conclusive evidence that was the reason that action was taken on him?
It's a Times of India report.
Okay, GS Prashant. Okay, GS, well, that's a media report. But GS Prashant, you asked a question of Prashant. Prashant, respond.
No, see, Madhav, the moment you bring Rahul Gandhi in, the Congress and its stooges and all the spokespersons come out in defense saying Rahul Gandhi has never done this. People have seen how Manmohan Singh was treated, even in a protocol seating arrangement. He was asked to move away and Sonia Gandhi occupied the chair. The visuals were out all on national media. Whenever that event had happened, you please check. Even Times Now, I'm sure, has played it multiple times. So therefore, Congress has never respected any of its leaders. We know what they did with P.V. Narasimha Rao. We know what they did with Ambedkar. So therefore, we know how they treat their people. And you had Pranab Mukherjee's daughter on record saying how they treated him. So therefore, the first family of Congress never treats anybody as equal, forget better than them. They always want people to be subservient to them. And anybody who follows the diktat are given prime posts, like Siddaramaiah now. He's following the arrogant footsteps.
Okay, Syed Aslam Pasha.
I accept everything. Now speak on Amit Katara. Speak on Amit Katara and Prime Minister.
I would request you to use the decent language. Stooge, you must be a stooge. We are not. Right? We are supporting some party, or we are having our independent views. You cannot use such statements. I would request you to refrain from such statements. Now coming back, Prashant. What you need to worry about is
one by one, gentlemen, one by one. Prashant, let him now complete his point. You made your point. Let him respond to that.
Yeah. So what Mr. Prashant needs to worry today, Madhav, is he needs to worry about the infight within the Karnataka BJP. There are three factions in BJP. Faction 1, Yediyurappa. Faction 2, Yetnal. Faction 3, Mr. Ashok. That is what you need to worry about. Stop worrying about the other party.
Okay, I think that's a fair question. Prashant, respond to that. When your party is divided, you're raising questions about infighting within the Congress party. Does the BJP have the moral right to talk about that? Because those fights are also out in the public domain. Prashant.
No, definitely yes. Some simmerings between leaders and discontent between them has come out, but time and again we've repeated that the central leadership is seized of the matter and they're taking everybody into confidence. And whenever anti-Congress measures that were taking out protests against Congress, every leader in his own right is ensuring that Congress is brought down because they are doing separate protests. Yes, there may be some discord here and there. At the same time, the objective is very clear. It is for the nation. It is ensure that the corrupt Congress government has to go down and not fighting for the position there. But here in BJP, they're fighting as to who will lead the protest against Congress. So therefore, it's not comparable to what's happening in Congress. In Congress, they're fighting for the CM's chair, and you have multiple factions. They're bringing in caste equations.
Yes.
They're bringing regional aspirations.
Let me bring in others now. Priya Chetty Rajgopal, I want you to come in on this because we're almost out of time on this debate. But very quickly, what is the message that is being sent from here? As a citizen of this country, when you see these kind of instances take place, there are some people who have suggested that this is unnecessary, it's a puerile debate. Why are you raking this up at the national level? But this is a serious issue that concerns the common citizens. You gave an example of an ambulance which was stuck in traffic due to a security convoy. But there are larger questions about how our leaders are supposed to set an example.
I was thinking, we all know the phrase that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But just like, it's a humble suggestion, because I will repeat that he's not the only party person. There are many other parties where this happens. We know where airline staff have been bashed up, or a toll gate person has been sort of hit because they've dared to question. I think just like the IAS officers have a training, space to go through where there's some protocols and civil behavior which is taught, I think politicians have to go through a basic, training, and it's not just what their PR agencies tell them to do to reach the masses, but I think some basic protocols in terms of how to handle, public and basic things. I think this is important because we are, as public, just very used to the fact that there's an arrogance that's built in to the white kurtas of the politicians. It just seems to be a thing. I don't think it should be. I don't think we should be taking this as something that is, we don't love it, but, it's par for the course. And this is something where if it is put in well, I think politicians will have an obligation, not just to their voters, but to the citizens of the state or the city that has elected them.
Right.
And every single time when a politician does something like this, there must be some kind of a penalty that's put in, which shows up in their, in the voting pattern. I was astounded to hear the giggling and the hooting in the front benches because, everybody plays to their masses, whether it's an actor or anybody else. I think we can do better. I really think we can do better.
Well, that's exactly the question, that is this just for positioning ultimately that leaders end up doing such things, but look at the kind of damage that they're causing. And look at the examples that they're setting, because who knows which leader will start following what the Chief Minister has set as an example. Bijon Mishra?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We have to set good and responsible behavior as a mandatory code of conduct. We have to make sure that if anybody breaches those code, they're taken to task irrespective of being the Chief Minister. We as citizens don't expect such behavior from such tall leaders. And if they do it, there has to be some kind of an apology in public domain. The Chief Minister must come in public stating that why did he do this? And why should we as citizens not allow such things to continue? We have to curb this kind of an arrogance, this kind of a VVIP culture in our country.
All right. We'll have to leave it there. And I'd like to thank Professor Bijon Mishra and Priya Chetty Rajgopal, who as citizens' voices have really expressed their concern. And this is the frustration of the common man that's coming out, ladies and gentlemen, because we've seen this happen for decades. And this kind of behavior, is it really acceptable in 2025 India? That's a question that we all should be asking ourselves, perhaps irrespective of whichever political party we may belong to, support, so on and so forth. It's a very, very important question in terms of how our leaders conduct themselves, particularly in public. I'd like to thank GS Prashant, Tehseen Poonawala, Syed Aslam Pasha, as well as Priya Chetty Rajgopal and Professor Bijon Mishra for joining us on debate number 1.